Something's going on backstage involving Mustafa Ali. But is that Zack Gibson? It is Zack Gibson. And a locker room powerbomb to Ali brings him down. I see Neville heading towards the ring. That was the newest member of the British Empire. Welcome Zack Gibson into the group. Seth Rollins is going to challenge someone to a match at Survivor Series. Seth Rollins challenges Kazuchika Okada, the greatest of all time and the Rainmaker at Survivor Series. SmackDown Live. Please just say yes to it. Hello and welcome Universe Mode. This is ECW. The show of the week has arrived once more for you all. You're very welcome for it as well. We are here tonight for another historic episode of ECW within this universe. And of course we all know history is going to be made in this universe as well. Survivor Series, we are on. The challenge was put out last week on ECW and it was accepted last night on SmackDown Live. The main event of Survivor Series for this year is Seth Rollins versus Kazuchika Okada. I know, I can't wait for it. And I imagine everyone else is feeling much the same way about it as well. Okada accepted the challenge last night on SmackDown Live. Rollins will respond to it here to kick things off on ECW. And I am very excited as to how that will go. Seth Rollins, I imagine, will have quite a bit to say on the matter. And maybe some threats towards Okada. Not threats, promises maybe will be the best way of going it. This match is historic for Survivor Series. You know these are two of the greatest in the world, and you know they're going to put on that match. Rollins will be starting on this night. We have an incredible night of action to show you, and I think it is going to be incredible from top to bottom, including this main event of the evening right here. These two guys have squared off before, but they shall do it again. Four Horsemen meets British Empire. Roderick Strong meets Neville in the main event of ECW. Plenty to play for here, especially after the British Empire's dealings earlier on in this week regarding Monday Night Raw. I will talk about that later on this evening because there was a lot to get into. But as for all of that, that is all to come later on this evening. There is a lot of great action to come this evening as well. Let's start things from the very top, from the very greatest. Start things off with Seth Rollins. And there he is, Seth Rollins out here again. Last week, of course, he was closing the show, making that essentially once-in-a-lifetime challenge towards Okada. Now here tonight, he's had that match accepted. We know it's on at Survivor Series. What does Rollins have to say towards what Okada said, towards the match itself being accepted? What does the longest reigning champion in the history of this universe have to say to it all? I do wonder. Of course, we here at ECW also celebrate what transpired last week, taking a ratings victory, which we are very, very thankful for. I'm glad you all decided to make the right decision and tune into the greatest show each and every week, with the greatest wrestler of all time at the very top of it. Rollins has the microphone in hand, though, and he wastes no time, unlike last week. Rollins saying that history was made last night when Okada accepted the challenge. Rollins knows that, everyone knows that. The match is set for Survivor Series. The Rainmaker versus the greatest of all time is official. However, Okada needs to get a few things straight, needs to get a few things through his head before he thinks about stepping in that ring with Seth freaking Rollins. And the protocol is simple. Do they respect each other? Yes. Rollins may not have many, if any, allies in this universe, but he knows he accepts Okada's respect. However, to call them friends is a different thing. Rollins is only friends with one thing, and that is himself, because he knows he is the greatest. Rollins knows each and every week he comes out here, he is better than everyone else, and he proves it every single time as well. And the thing is that Okada can say that he thinks he's going to beat Rollins, but just compare their summers to each other. We're watching turmoil on SmackDown Live with Kazuchika Okada. We're looking at an Okada whose head is all over the place. 1 minute he's talking about the WWE Championship. Next minute he's talking about his friend stabbing him in the back. That's not a problem on ECW. Seth Rollins had the greatest summer anyone's ever seen in this universe. And Rollins says to Okada, if you want to have a go, if you want to try and cause conflict between us, maybe try and sort out your own problems before you try getting in Seth Rollins' business. Survivor Series is still weeks away, Rollins. You could sort out your problems then if you want. You won't have to worry about Nakamura on the night, but you have to worry about Seth Rollins. And that is a huge enough problem because the end will justify the means. And Rollins will redesign, rebuild, reclaim not only Survivor Series, but the Rainmaker himself. Rollins sending the first shot, you could argue, Okada's way. The match is on now, but it's time to get under everyone's skin, and Rollins has just done that here on ECW. Does the Rainmaker have a response for it? And we will certainly wait to hear from that man himself. We will wait to hear the response from the Rainmaker, I assume next week on SmackDown Live. It certainly seems as if right now neither guy wants to get physical with the other, but they certainly want to get under each other's skin, and I'm fine with that. Go right ahead. I think it's a great thing to witness. Two of the greatest of all time, two of the greatest wrestlers in this universe, just trying to, you know, just trying to mess around with each other, trying to get under each other's skin before Survivor Series. I have no problems if we head into Survivor Series and there's no conflict on either side. It makes the match even better, I would argue. We shall see, though, as time goes on. Rollins has sent his message for the evening, and I imagine he will spend the rest of the show watching this one backstage in his own personal locker room, of course. And what a night of action we are in for. There is Sami Callihan in the ring, getting ready to start things off with a man who knows plenty about the Rainmaker, who has faced plenty to do with Kazuchika Okada in the same breath. It is the wrestler Katsuyori Shibata. I know, he was on SmackDown Live a few weeks ago. We're really good at trading, what can I say? We got John Cena and Shibata from SmackDown Live. We're pretty good at the job that we can do around here. Oh yeah, and we got Adam Cole. Yeah, do you see why we're the show of the week now? I think we've proven it. Nevertheless, Shibata heading towards the ring right now, and yes, this is going to be his debut match here on ECW. Maybe it'll go a little bit better than John Cena's did last week. I mean, I certainly think he would hope for it to go that way. That is the look of a man who is very ready, very, very, very ready to make his debut in this universe. Shibata and the top of his head are ready to compete here on ECW against Sami Callihan, who has gone bald, actually, which is pretty interesting. He's definitely done that over the last few weeks. Shibata ready. I'm ready. I think everyone in ECW is ready for this matchup here to commence, and for this night of action to commence. Here we go. Great action on its way all from top to bottom. And Sami Callihan coming out of the gates there with a huge big boot. The Callihan Death Machine certainly wanting to get everyone's attention right away there, but getting Shibata's might always be a mistake, because this is a ruthless man at the same breath. Great counter by Callihan, comes flying in there. Shibata temporarily going to have to go out to the apron here. This is a tough debut match for Shibata because it's a guy who's completely out of the blue in terms of his offense, crazed almost in his offense. It is an incredibly tough job to try and take care of Sami Callihan, especially from a traditionalist standpoint that Shibata has when it comes to wrestling. On the outside here, not where he's welcome to being. Shibata getting back in the ring here. Running lariat! See the oomph put into that one there. Sami Callihan, a part of the tag team with Jay White, known as the Switchblade of Anarchy. As you can tell, the Switchblade is not here tonight. Nevertheless, this matchup does indeed continue on. I mean, it is a singles match. Speaking of tag matches, though, we do have the ECW Tag Team Champions in action later on this evening, which should be very interesting in itself to bear witness to. Callihan doing his best there to fight out of Shibata's hold. Shibata doing the same here. Both these guys countering each other an awful lot in the early stages here. Kind of goes to show that even though they have alternate wrestling styles, their ability to counter one another is still very prominent. Here we go. Northern Light suplex there by Shibata. That was like a snap Northern Light suplex as well. Brings him in. Uppercut. That is not something you usually want to be on. You never want to be on the end of any strike from Shibata, that's for certain. Even a simple kick in the back like that can take all the breath out of you. Shibata turns him round now. Back suplex. Oh, Callihan stuck the landing and another big bicycle kick, nailing in the skull of Shibata. I said Shibata was going to be in for a tough start, but I'm not too sure he expected a start as tough as this one, that's for certain. Dragon screw now by Callihan. And Shibata feeling the pain of it all, but he's able to counter out there. Here we go now, looking for a simple slam, and he gets it. Callihan unable to stop that one this time. And a neck crank that will follow as well. A little move there from Shibata. Good counter from Callihan. Good counter from Shibata. These two guys are just countering every single move they see. Makes it a true back and forth match right now. Like I said, two different wrestling styles, able to produce back and forth action like this. Oh, double under face buster there. I was expecting the Tiger suplex for a moment. Shibata decided to decide against that one. Shibata now in position. Sleeper hold, sleeper hold. Sleeper hold from Shibata. Callihan could be in trouble. Callihan could be in trouble here. Middle of the ring. Callihan flailing, but will he tap out? The answer is no. Callihan stays in this one. It's countered by Shibata though. Very nice work there done by the wrestler. Callihan counters. Irish whip off the ropes. Collision made between the two of them. For some kind of drop kick there. Callihan swatted the arm away there. Callihan now trying to pull one over on Shibata. Roll up and an early kick out from the wrestler. Means there's no victory for him. But look at the speed now coming from Callihan, lifting him right up to his feet. Gets countered. Gets countered again. Shibata rolls through. And PK. PK. Into the chest of Callihan, and it finishes it. Debut sealed, victory sealed for Katsuyori Shibata. Man, that was entertaining actually. The speed in that main event, in that first opening match here on ECW. I did enjoy that one. And there is your winner at the end of it, the wrestler Katsuyori Shibata. Sits down in the ring, solemn in victory. And well done to him. Callihan was exploding out of the gates there. They both were. They were countering everything either man had going for them. But in the end, that PK, lethal as it is, puts away the match. Great stuff there. Great way to kick things off on NXT. On ECW to go with it. I'm all over the place with my shows right now. Great stuff though to kick things off, and I hope that Shibata is going to have a great career here on ECW. Certainly was worth the trade already. That's all I'm saying. Nevertheless, speaking of trades, spoke of him just a moment ago. John Cena is in action again here tonight, looking to bounce back from that defeat 2 weeks ago to Kurt Angle. He has got another tough opponent lined up for him tonight, though, in Kyle O'Reilly. Up next. So here we go, from one thrilling contest to the other on ECW here. What I found quite interesting is that 2 weeks ago, I'm just glossing on this match fact right now. 2 weeks ago, pretty much everyone was in agreement that Kurt Angle versus John Cena was an absolutely outstanding matchup and everyone loved it. Yep, I agree with you all. John Cena enjoyed the match as well. He loved what he got to experience within that ring, but he was ever so disappointed that he did not come out with the win at the end of it. That was the main worry for John Cena. That was his main frustration. He didn't get a victory when the night was sealed, and he wished that he did. He craved that win so bad, and it just did not come his way. Now here tonight, though, against Kyle O'Reilly, can Cena experience that? O'Reilly, a former WWE champion within this universe, has proven that he is an incredible asset to ECW as well. And quite the career since arriving to ECW on top of it as well. Bit of a summer rivalry with Seth Rollins. 2 matches for the ECW Championship. One which, well, he lost both of them, but one of them was a 30-minute Iron Man match. Took place at ECW Heatwave. Rollins ended up winning that one 4-2, I believe it was, at the end of it all. Kyle O'Reilly, though, at one point did have the lead. But the reality of the situation was that, as we can see, it was not enough to make him the ECW champion because Seth Rollins is still in his historic making reign. That being said, O'Reilly has had some great matches on ECW. against some of the top talents, and here's another name on ECW looking to make himself a top talent. Talked about Cena's loss to Kurt Angle just a moment ago. Cena wants to overcome that loss. He wants to bounce back from it. Wants to prove that he belongs here on ECW. And this isn't going to be another brand where John Cena just kind of fits by the numbers. He has to do something here to really stand out. And I'm being honest with you, I think that's going to be even tougher to do on ECW. With a brand with the likes of Kyle O'Reilly, Tetsuya Naito, Kenny Omega, the ECW television champion even, and Braun Strowman. You look at your Aleister Blacks, Adam Cole. You could argue people in the British Empire. Of course, Seth Rollins. There's so much in the way of great talent here on ECW. And you've got to question how do you, in amongst all of that world-class talent, how do you stand out in it? How do you stand out in a class of talent like that, where so many have held the world title, so many arguably deserve to hold the world title? How do you stand out in something like that? That's the problem for John Cena. That's the problem for nearly everyone on this brand. It's tough to stand out in a place that is filled with such incredible talents, as we see each and every week here on ECW, as we're seeing right now, and as I would argue we've already seen to open up to this evening here on ECW. Well, here we go. Cena and O'Reilly squaring off. Shoulder tackle there by Cena. Cena has O'Reilly down right now. Went for a quick strike. O'Reilly able to move out of the way. Here we go. Tiger suplex by Kyle O'Reilly there. Huge weight of John Cena just crashing down on his head and neck there. Great counter though from Cena on that one. Clothesline brings down O'Reilly. Coming out with a bit more aggression in this one right now. Only been hitting like power moves essentially, and O'Reilly responding there with one of his own. That was really nice to see from O'Reilly. Kick to the boot, kick to the gut, countered. Belly to belly suplex there by John Cena. Look at this now by O'Reilly in with a shin breaker. As you know, with Survivor Series just around the corner, we have seen some progressions towards Survivor Series matches. One such match that may appease both men might very well be the likelihood that Magnum Opus have a Survivor Series match coming their way. Maybe, just maybe, we could see one of these two guys representing ECW in that Survivor Series matchup for all we know. See if that'll be the case or not. As for right now, though, they are taking each other on in this contest. A cracking discus forearm there by O'Reilly. Gave him some room to work with. Backbreaker there on John Cena resulted from it. Another big forearm there. Cena in with the counter, up off the ropes. Great uppercut counter by O'Reilly. Cena, though, able to counter. This is natural strength allowing him to counter that one there. Oh! A little bit of a sucker punch by John Cena, you could argue. And O'Reilly taking a moment to recover on the ropes here. Clothesline up and over the top rope now to the outside. Goes Kyle O'Reilly. Good counter from him, though. Look at that. Right in the legs of John Cena. Tactical, well thought out offense there by Kyle O'Reilly, even in the midst of having to counter a move like that one. Knee in the back. O'Reilly could be in for something big here, and he believes that he is. Kyle O'Reilly, Brainbuster, chasing the dragon, whatever you want to call it. O'Reilly strikes with it, but he does not see Armageddon on its way yet on John Cena. Flips him over, goes into the cover, snap, suplex will not end it. Cena kicks out at 2. Look at the speed in which O'Reilly's working with now, though. He realizes the victory could be on its way. Cena evades, though. And now Cena will take over. Oh, big power bomb there by Cena. Cover on O'Reilly, who kicks out as early as 1. What another high-octane match this is turning into here on ECW. Cena in, deadlift, gut-wrench suplex to O'Reilly. Outstanding strength to pull off. O'Reilly, though, up to his feet from behind, and there's that backbreaker again. Neither guy able to get an opening on the other right now. Kyle O'Reilly in. O'Reilly, guillotine choke. Guillotine choke on Cena. Will Cena be forced to tap out here? The head and neck of Cena just locked in right now, but oh, look at the strength. Look at the strength of John Cena to power out of that one. That was something else to bear witness to. Emerald Explosion now by John Cena. Oh, you are kidding me. How did Cena find this fight back within him? From being locked in a guillotine choke into 5-knuckle shuffle by Cena. And only one move left to result in short victory, but O'Reilly counters. Neither guy giving the other what they want here. Cena counters. O'Reilly counters. Sweeps the leg underneath him. Transitions into the full mount, and O'Reilly with open-handed palm strikes there to Cena. That was great bit of work there by O'Reilly. He had to think on his feet, and he most certainly did by taking Cena off of his. O'Reilly now has the arm of Cena wrenched here. Oh, but Cena fighting his way out there. Great stuff there. Oh, Cena looking for the attitude adjustment. No, O'Reilly counters it. Cena right back up to his feet though. Northern Light suplex by John Cena now. That was incredible. Cena countered. Cena right back up to his feet. And now here he goes. Off the ropes. Shoulder tackle by Cena. Another one to go with it. O'Reilly all sorts of flustered. Spin out, back suplex now. What's Cena gonna do here? Is he lining himself up? Yes, he is. Cena, once again, off the ropes. 5-knuckle shuffle to Kyle O'Reilly. One move to go. And will he look for it? Cena. Down by the legs. Oh, I thought he might be taking STF for a moment there. I would have said maybe not his wisest decision, trying to get someone like Kyle O'Reilly to tap out. Cena in position though. Here we go. Will he get his first win on ECW on O'Reilly? Attitude adjustment by John Cena. And with 1, 2, 3, John Cena beats Kyle O'Reilly. And there's that win that he looked for 2 weeks ago, but didn't quite get. But he had to do it in another thriller. In another thrilling contest, John Cena had to compete in, and another well-earned victory for someone in this matchup. That was just like the ending to to Angle and Cena from 2 weeks back. The intensity in it in those closing moments was outstanding. That moment where Cena looked like, when you counted the attitude adjustment, you have Cena down on his back, but Cena just did not stay down. Go right up to his feet, brought O'Reilly down, and from there, he had control of the match. I think O'Reilly was too flustered, too off his game in that moment, just thrown completely off it, and in the end, it was enough for John Cena to walk out with a win. Thrilling contest, well-earned victory for Cena on that one, no doubt about it. Now, after a great contest like that, we still have to move on here. We still have more action to talk about here tonight at ECW. And we have a debut to deal with here tonight at ECW. We saw him last week attacking Mustafa Ali and being revealed as the 4th member of the British Empire. Now, Zack Gibson makes his debut up next. Well, we might have been seeing this guy get a victory a few weeks ago on ECW, but it's going to be tough for him to get a win here tonight, I would imagine. Drew Gulak is going to be tasked as the person to introduce Zack Gibson into this universe. Well, Mustafa Ali kind of did that. Drew Gulak's going to be the one tasked to make this guy's debut match within this universe. It's a great opportunity though for Gulak. I mean, Zack Gibson is very close to the Cruiserweight Champion himself, Zack Sabre Jr., of course all members of the British Empire. And with that win that Gulak sustained 2 weeks ago, you could argue that maybe he was looking at the opportunity to get his hands on that Cruiserweight Championship, to get another shot against Zack Sabre Jr. Had one back at Heatwave. They met in a submission match. Yes, they did, which Sabre Jr. ended up winning. However, here tonight, it is a different Zack that Drew Gulak is going to have to deal himself with. It is the arrival of Zack Gibson. What a debut he made last week. Oh, he's shit. Well, both the Zacks are here, it seems. The Cruiserweight Champion has arrived to come with it. There is Zack Sabre Jr. in the background there. ECW Cruiserweight Champion, accompanying him out. Zack Gibson, though, made one emphatic debut last week when he attacked Mustafa Ali backstage, powerbombed him into the locker room, I believe, and just left him for dust, essentially. And Neville revealed it was all a part of his master plan, and what a busy week the British Empire have had. There's no doubt about it. We saw everything happen in ECW. Gibson's arrival, Neville saying he was the last piece that they needed, and now they go out. They sent the challenge out to everyone and every brand, telling them to show up. And now here, on Monday Night Raw rather, we saw them certainly showing that up to be the case when Drew McIntyre attacked Cassius Ohno, laying him out with a Claymore kick on the outside. And out here tonight, we just wonder what will happen here. Of course, it's not the only match. Gulak offering, Gibson offering a shake of the hand there. And oh, of course, clocking Drew Gulak. Surprise, surprise there that one was the case. Yeah, great respect being shown, and oh, just sweeping the leg away from him right away. Zack Gibson, not even going to let me finish my point before he gets right into the action he wants to get into. Enziguri to the head now of Drew Gulak. What I was going to say, though, that Claymore kick on the outside, that threat made once again to Raw and SmackDown Live to face them at Survivor Series. They may be on ECW, but that does not mean that in any way, shape, or form I see them as representing ECW, because I absolutely don't. I'm not telling these guys to go out there and do what they're doing. They just are doing it. And the unfortunate reality is that I've just got to deal with it, as I have dealt with the British Empire now for the last few months on this brand. Certainly not something that I want to do, but it's something that I have to do. Because that large group has an awful lot of difficulty when it comes to trying to stop them right now. Gulak proving tough, though, for Zack Gibson to try and overcome in his debut. He's putting up a fight right now. DDT, though, by Gibson. Liverpool's #1 diamond, as he calls himself, or just a diamond in general. Wanting to make a big name for himself in his debut here. And he's ripped off the ropes now, though. Comes Gibson. Oh, just caught Gulak flush with a knee in the gut there. Back suplex incoming now, and Gulak hits the mat hard. Kick in the back that follows up after. Gulak in trouble here. Gulak just in huge trouble right now. This has been an emphatic debut made so far by Zack Gibson. This is the British Empire wanting to assert their power on ECW. And in front of the eyes of the Cruiserweight Champion as well. You know Zack Gibson's impressing. Kick in the gut here by Gibson. Hammerlock DDT. Struck with it. And Zack Gibson could be one move away from victory. And here is that move, looking for Helter Skelter. But Drew Gulak came out with a big-time counter. Gulak with a huge counter there in that moment. And this could be where Gulak could come back into this matchup now. Irish whip off the ropes. Collision made between the two men. Gulak countered. Gulak counters, though, both men now. Having to square up. Oh, here we go. Look at this back suplex now by Gulak. And will he look for the Gulak here, maybe? Dragging him away. Will he try and stitch it in? I think, yes he has! Yes he has! Gulak applied, but oh, Gibson in the ropes. Gibson in the ropes, so says the referee. I'm not certain if I agree with that call, but we're going to have to go along with it. Cover made after the Gulak, and of course it's an instant kick out for Zack Gibson. No damage has been done. That Gulak didn't even have a moment to be applied, so not much that was going to be done there, but here we go now. This is one of Zack Sabre Jr.'s moves. I talked about this 2 weeks ago. This wrist clutch and then rolling over into a cover, however, on this occasion. Drew Gulak decided not to. Gibson in with a counter there, though. Kick in the gut. Off the ropes he comes, and a low drop kick there into the face of Drew Gulak now. Gibson will be frustrated, I imagine, that he didn't put the match away when he had the opportunity, because Drew Gulak's putting up one hell of a fight right now. Pushing him away, though. And here we go, has the arm in. Kick in the gut. DDT after it. Gulak now in with a lariat on Zack Gibson. There's an opportunity developing here for Drew Gulak. He's made life tough for Gibson in this match so far. Already counted the helter-skelter. And Gibson just having to try and fight on right now in this one. Can be frustrated that the debut hasn't gone as clean as he would like, and I would imagine the British Empire could be equally frustrated with him, and Gulak is just doing his very best to make this as problematic as possible right now. Sabre Jr. watching on the outside. He's gone from just standing on the apron out of just standing there, sort of resting against the apron and just standing there right now. I think even he might be frustrated, but so long as Gulak is causing frustration for the British Empire, then I am very happy to see it taking place. Big boot there. Jeez, he blasted him with that one. Zack Gibson, helter-skelter strikes. That time he got it, and that time it puts away Drew Gulak. He finally got what he's been seeking, and in the end, it results in victory for Gibson. And there you have it. The ECW debut of Zack Gibson is sealed, and oh no, the victory is short-lived. The celebrations are short-lived. Drew Gulak has more to endure here. The message was sent, the damage has been done already, but not in the eyes of Gibson. This may be a retort for the frustrations that he had to deal with in this matchup. Throwing him back in the ring right now. Gibson just unloading away on Sabre Jr. As if to send a message to everyone that this is what the newest member of the British Empire does. He hurts people, and you have to learn to live with it. Gibson in again. Helter-skelter once more. Oh my goodness. Well, the debut may not have gone the way that I wanted it to, but there's no doubt about it. The afters were exactly how Gibson wanted them to go down. There is your winner in his ECW debut. Gibson's message, along with the British Empire's message sent. Raw, SmackDown Live, this is one of the guys you're going to have to deal with at Survivor Series. Hope you're ready for it. Let's move on now to our next contest. ECW Tag Team Champions, D.I.Y are in action. So we might as well go right into it. Alright, well, let's do this thing then. It's the duo of Kevin Nash and the Brian Kendrick, who will have to contend with the ECW Tag Team Champions, who have decided on this night to swap up each other's entrances, it seems. That's pretty nice coordination as a tag team there. D.I.Y heading towards the ring, nevertheless. Let's see how this one will go for these two guys. They're doing a pretty good job as ECW Tag Team Champions right now. Had a title defense on the last ECW of last series of Universe over Austin Aries and Tyler Breeze, and then 2 weeks ago, last week was it? I think it was last week, Johnny Gargano defeated Austin Aries in some very entertaining action, one-on-one between the two men. Now, though, here tonight, we're going to see their first match as the Tag Team Champions. D.I.Y most certainly ready for it, and I am ready to see how they do as well. I'm hoping that things will go well for these two. I'm hoping that, their reign will go as successful as it has. I know usually I talk ill of some of the talents in ECW, but that's only if you want to face Seth Rollins. Then, aside from that, you're all right. Just don't get in Seth Rollins' business. That's simple. Kevin Nash starting this matchup right now. Johnny Gargano coming in with a big-time dropkick on the back there. This now by Gargano. I'm to unload away here on Kevin Nash early on. Might be a smart idea, though, by this duo to get the big man in first. Try and weigh down the ECW Tag Team Champions, then let Kendrick pick apart the pieces. However, that does not seem the way that D.I.Y are interested in letting things happen. Tag made already. Double super kick there. Ciampa in now off the tag, and here we go. Went for the drop kick on Nash. Gets kicked in the gut there. A running neck breaker and then some in that neck breaker by Tommaso Ciampa. Trying to lift the big man. That's just not going to happen. You can put as much hope in it as you want, but at the end of the day, Kevin Nash is 300 plus pounds and 7 foot tall. It's just not going to happen. The Brian Kendrick in off the tag though. And for the backbreaker there, or some kind of or maybe a sidewalk slam. Great counter by Ciampa though. Powers his way out of it and unloads away with some strikes there onto the face of Brian Kendrick. Here we go now. Death Valley driver by Ciampa. D.I.Y doing a good job in this one thus far. Look at this now. By Ciampa, unloading away with a series of strikes there. Counter though, up and over the top rope here. We of course don't know a #1 contender right now for the ECW Tag Team Champions. Don't even know what the fate of D.I.Y will be at Survivor Series. Great counter though, they're made by the Brian Kendrick, and to send him back in the corner. Runs in with a flying forearm there. Up on the shoulder, oh no, not up on the shoulders. Held in position there, great bit of work by Kendrick. And all of a sudden, Ciampa looking a little bit on the back foot right now. Stomping away there was Kendrick. Throws him into an opposite turnbuckle and nails another forearm on Ciampa right now. Camel clutch being applied. I was going to say, I think Ciampa's legs, though, are in the ropes. They most certainly were. Spending a lot of time on his back right now. Chin lock applied. And look at this, just hammering away with open blows there. Ciampa trying to cover up, but devastating maneuvers like that makes it so tough to try and recover from. This is great stuff, though, from Brian Kendrick in this matchup so far. Gonna look for a brain buster, maybe. No such luck there. Ciampa moves out of the way. Torture rack. Spinning out into a power bomb there by Ciampa. Will it be enough to put away Kendrick? No, early kick out there. Ciampa, though, if I were him, I would make that tag into Gargano, and it is exactly what he has in mind here. Tag made. Johnny Gargano back in this one. Nice bit of work here. Look at that tag team maneuver there from D.I.Y. Kendrick getting up to his feet pretty quickly, though. He's looking quite sharp in this matchup right now. Counter made. Turns him round. Great arm drag there. Kendrick trying to crawl to make the tag into Kevin Nash there, but Kendrick doing just fine on his own right now. Off the ropes. Went for the drop kick. Countered. Oh, went for some kind of snapmare maybe. Gets countered. Kendrick went in with a drop kick and got countered. See a lot of back and forth counters here tonight. We're seeing another set of them right now. Up and over the top rope goes Johnny Wrestling. But he's able to counter the Brian Kendrick and flip over. Sunset flip into the cover. Here we go. Will this be enough? There's a lariat. Nash goes to the outside and Gargano has to kick out right away as Kendrick was able to roll it back over. Both these guys right now squaring up with each other and neither able to get the upper hand on the other here. Thrilling tag team action in this one. And wrestling in the corner. Gets met with a Uranagi coming out of the corner, though. Like I said, neither man can get a stronghold in this match over the other. Brian Kendrick, though, feeling pretty confident about something there. Gets stuffed. Counters the Enziguri, though. It's been a standout performance thus far for the Brian Kendrick. Let's just say that. Oh. Moved out of the way. Oh, what a cutter by Gargano. The speed used to hit that. I have to be quick there to stop Brian Kendrick from getting out of, from getting the tag in there. Here we go. What are we going to see in the turnbuckle now? Gargano in position, ready to strike. Lawn darts him into the turnbuckle. That is not a nice landing at all. And the cut on the face of Kendrick expanding there. Forearmed in the face. Here we go now, what are we going to see? Slides through the legs. Great bit of work by Gargano. Hurricanrana made as well. Nash really wanted that tag in, getting denied by the fact that Kendrick got up to his feet there. Set up against the ropes. Turns him round and is now wrenching the head and shoving the throat into the top rope. That is not a nice move at all. Is this where Kendrick looks to make the tag in? Nash wants the tag in. And I think he is going to get the tag as well. Yes, he is. Which might be frustrating for D.I.Y. because they may have thought that they had victory in the bag there for a moment. Sends him into the turnbuckle now. Tag going to be made here. Yes, it is. In comes Tommaso Ciampa. Lovely drop kick by Ciampa as well. Psycho Killer back in. Wanted to crack it. Kevin Nash once more here. Look at those knees in the gut right there, though. No remorse shown by Ciampa on those. Big counter. Headbutt made. Ciampa with a big knee in the face there. That knee brace on Ciampa. I don't know if that's a recent addition or not. I know he used to be wearing a knee pad there, so maybe he's used the knee pad to cover up. And this is tactical here. Letting Kendrick tag himself in is a tactical move, because at the end of the day, Kendrick's the one who's more worn out. So getting him in the ring could mean an easier victory for D.I.Y. Great bit of tactical thinking by Tommaso Ciampa. And here we go now. Ciampa in, looking to end this. Double underhook, face buster by Ciampa. A new move to the addition, and a move that results in victory for D.I.Y. The ECW Tag Team Champions muster up the win, and that is what the Tag Team Division has to deal with. D.I.Y, a tough contest that they have to endure no matter what you say about. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Rowan! Wolf! That's Downfall! Two members of Downfall jumping the ECW Tag Team Champions, yeah! They're unloading away on them! Rowan and Wolf have just laid out the champions, and now making his way down the ramp, it's Harper. Oh my goodness, and Harper has arrived now, and he's got the microphone in his hands. After that attack from his man, Harper saying, "We told you what Downfall was all about, and now you experience it firsthand. And if you want to see just what Downfall will bring, D.I.Y, face us next week. Tag team titles on the line. If you've got the guts, show up. If you've got the guts, make the match. Or if you haven't, we're taking those titles away from you and taking one of you out. Downfall commences." Another chilling threat made by the duo of Harper, Raven and Wolf. They want a title match next week. And if they don't get it, they're going to force D.I.Y, I imagine, to vacate the titles. I'm going to have to cave in here. They get their title match next week. Downfall versus D.I.Y for the tag team titles next week. Alright, here we go. Main event action is underway, but oh, that was a choice that I didn't want to make, is the reality, is the honesty, I think, of the situation. I did not want to be left with them to make that choice, but they were look at what they've done since this new series of Universe has shown up. It's been kind of tough. I mean, they got rid of Raven as quick as you like. They replaced him with Rowan. And now since then, they've gone all out in trying to make life a living hell for everyone else. They've been talking about how Downfall has commenced. And they're trying to get that point across to their fullest nature. And they may get the chance to do that next week when the tag team titles are on the line. And it's a chilling reality if that ends up happening. That much is for certain. Let's move on to our main event of the evening, though. Roderick Strong against Neville. Here we go. This is going to be a great contest between these two guys. There is plenty of bad blood between them already. And let's just see how it continues on throughout this contest. Neville heads towards the ring. The leader of the British Empire meeting, where you could argue is the temporary leader of the Four Horsemen, because the fact that Chris Jericho isn't here because of that man. Neville took him out at, was it Guilty as Charged, I believe it was? I believe it was Guilty as Charged. And then at Heatwave, took care of Roderick Strong in a thrilling contest as well. Business was dealt with for the Horsemen back in the last series of Universe, because they kind of just beat everyone, to be honest. So that just kind of happened the way that it did, and yeah. Nevertheless, the British Empire, of course, have already got their point across here tonight, and now we wait to see what happens as time continues on, and as this matchup commences here. I don't know, my mind is still a little bit hazy over what's happened here tonight. It's been a little bit more chill regarding Survivor Series, but there still has been plenty to talk about from an ECW perspective. Here we go now, though. Main event of the evening underway, and look at this. Exploding out of the blocks is Neville, but getting countered by Roderick Strong in the early stages here. Good counter from Neville. Step up into Guri, and Roddy goes down. Back suplex now. Both these guys, of course, have added to their groups in the last few weeks. Roderick Strong with Oney Lorcan, Neville with Zack Gibson, who, of course, we saw in action earlier on tonight. Into the turnbuckle goes Neville, though, with great ferocity. And of course, you know, with everything going on regarding the British Empire, trying to send their message to other brands, you know this guy is the focal point of it. You know Neville was the one who's responsible for Zack Gibson, responsible for why the British Empire are on the aggressive with other brands, and responsible for why Drew McIntyre was on Monday Night Raw this past week. Certainly it was not me. Absolutely it was Neville. Forearm in the face there by Roddy Strong right now. Like I said, the bad blood between these two guys is certainly going to spill over in this matchup. What a knee in the face there by Roddy. The connection that Roderick Strong has with Chris Jericho, of course, caused all the bad blood to boil between these two guys. And since then, it just kind of engulfed and took over from then on. Cover major after that Northern Lights suplex by Neville. Kick out by Roderick Strong there at the count of 1. Roddy in now, counters him. See what Roderick Strong's going to do here. Tiger suplex, backbreaker. Yes, as we would expect from the Messiah of the backbreaker. Roderick Strong right now has control. Can he continue on here, though? Can he keep on going the way that he wants to? Neville. Oh, no. Neville in with an eye rake. Up and over there. Tilt-a-whirl. DDT connected with by Neville. And Roderick Strong, surprise, surprise, being busted open already by it. Neville is really on the aggressor here tonight. Sunset flip to the outside. Down goes Roderick Strong in a rough landing and sent into the sent into the barricade there. Neville sees the blood on his face and he unloads away with more open shots on it as well. Oh, this is not good for Roddy Strong right now. Head first into the ring pole. Neville knows exactly what he's doing here, and he's proud of everything that he's doing. But Roderick Strong is into counter there. Strong attempted to strike big there. Neville countered him. Strong counters Neville. Neville counters Strong now and sweeps the leg away from him again there. And these two guys just trading back and forth right there, neither wanting to give in to the other. Thrilling main event contest this has been already. And the signs of how personal this is being shown on the face of Roderick Strong. The blood proving the point. Roddy in now, back suplex, facebuster by Roddy Strong. And could he finally get his win over Neville that he has been seeking for so long for the Horseman? He's going to look for it. Oh no. He gets countered. He hoped there to hit. He hoped there to hit big, but it was countered by Neville. Irish whip off the ropes. End of Heartache could not strike, but this matchup still continues on. And the counters coming thick and fast between these two men. What an arm drag there. Hip toss, whatever you want to call it there by Neville. Off the ropes comes Roddy Strong now. Bounces back off them, and another one connected with there by Neville. Elbow in the face there. Counter made. Dragon screw now by Neville. And rolling out of the ring is Roderick Strong, but he's not going to get much of a breather on the outside either. You certainly know the British Empire are not going to allow. Oh, but Neville's back gave out on him there. Neville's back giving out on him. That could be an opening for Roddy Strong. Not going to happen. Kick in the gut there. Neville throwing him back in the ring. Neville now back in the ring we go, and he connects big on that drop kick. What are we going to see now? Oh no, we could be seeing the ends justifying the means. Neville goes up high. He is in. Shooting star press though. I thought it was going to be the Red Arrow. Interesting cover made by Neville, and just barely. Roddy Strong gets the shoulder up in time. Now what? Now what? Neville turns him round. Oh no, reverse Hurricanrana. And Roddy Strong could be down and out in this ring. This time Neville goes up high. And I think this is it. Neville in. Red Arrow connects. 1, 2, and no! Kick out at 2. Kick out at 2 there. Made by Roddy Strong. He is hanging on in there to the best of his abilities, but Neville may take that away from him. The rings of Saturn are applied here. Roddy's tapped out to this before. Will he be forced to tap out again? The answer, it seems, is yes. Roddy submits. Neville wins again. The British Empire conquer the 4 horsemen once more. And he does it again, sadly. It's not something we wanted to see, but it's something we have to live with. Whoa, 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 whoa! That's Cesaro from Monday Night Raw! No way! No, this isn't meant to happen on here. This isn't something that should be happening here. Cesaro win on Neville. Former friends turned bitter ally, turned bitter enemies right now. Cesaro in. Sharpshooter on Neville. Sharpshooter on Neville. This is retaliation for Monday Night Raw. Neville taps out. And ECW ends with Raw on top.